Good morning, students. Today, the topic which we are going to discuss is examination system. Now, what do you mean by examination system? Examinations are formal assessment process where candidate can show their knowledge and proficiency in a given subject. It reflects the changes that take place in different domains, might you can say cognitive, affective, or psychomotor. Now, what is examination system? Examination system is not a new term in perspective of India. We have using this term in Mahabharata and Ramayana also. Examinations are something which are inseparable from the education system because they are well accepted parameters to ascertain the levels of excellence of students in a given subject or in a given topic. So these are the learning objectives of today's topic. The student will able to know the meaning of examination system. The student will able to know the concept of examination system. The student will able to know the various formats of examination system. The student will able to know the meaning of open book examination system. The student will able to know the meaning of multiple choice test examination system. The student will able to know the meaning of computer based assessment examination system. The student will able to know the meaning of take home test examination system, and in the last the students will able to know the meaning of oral text examination system. Now, meaning of examination system. Exam is the basic element of the application and its elaboration of examination system. The main objective was the maximum supervision of as large as possible number of parameters. Means we are assessing a student's performance or ability or knowledge in a given subjects on various parameters. Exams is dynamically defined. That is, user can define its frame as complexity, duration, number of questions from individual examination, question pool, etc. Now, exam is dynamically defined. We can define exams in the various dynamic manner. That is, user can define it as frame as complexity, means as a complex system. Duration of how much duration the exam will be conducted. Number of questions, how many questions will be asked in the exam. The power of the system is additionally manifested in the fact that the choice of questions presented to the attendee may always be different. It means that the choice of questions presented to the attendee may always be different because according to the set keys, questions are pulled out of the question base randomly or sequentially. It is, of course, possible not to take the opportunity of pulling out questions at random when it is necessary, like IQ test. Now, definition of examination: the act or process of examining, where we are examining something, when we are measuring something, when we are evaluating something. The state of being examined means you are being examined, you are being measured, you have been evaluated. An exercise designed to examine progress or test qualification. Examine progress, your ability, your knowledge about a subject, or test qualification of a knowledge. A formal integration means through a formal integration means a question will be there and you have to give the answers of that, and that is called a formal integration. Examination in secondary schools serve three main purposes. Means the examination system which is being conducted in the secondary at the secondary level, it has three main purposes. The first is a selection function, means on the basis of exam, a selection procedure will be done and entail controlling access to secondary schools courses within schools and entry to higher education institution. Now, what is that? That on the basis of your performance on examinations, on the basis of the results which you get from the examination, you will be selected for higher education. how you have performed at that level. On the basis of that, you will be get entry to the higher education institution. So the first function is a selection function. The second is a certifying function, means you will get a certificate from that, and entail finding out and reporting what a student has achieved, means through that certificate we will able to know how much you have got, how much you have achieved, whether they have graduated and what they know and are able to do, means what they have whether they have graduated. With the help of that certificate I will able to know whether you have been graduated or not, and what they know, how much you have known and are able to do, and on the basis of the performance I will able to know that what you are able to do in your future. In addition, system often make use of examination results for accountability purposes. Means for accountability purposes, the examination system has been used at the secondary level, and in particular for evaluating. And in the second third is the main purpose of evaluating. Means you will evaluate, you will assess, you will measure the effectiveness of instruction, how much the instructions are effective, whether the students are able to know the concept or able to learn the concept with the giving of the instructions, how effectively the instructions are given to the students. For motivating students and teachers to perform well, means on the basis of the evaluation system it will give a feedback to the teachers how they can perform well in the teaching learning process. And for reviewing the effectiveness of a school now, and the base and the results or the examination results are also helpful for the schools to review the effectiveness of the school system. Many examinations within the country considered in this booklet are required to serve all these three purposes. Means any examination which is conducted in our country is prepared in such a way that it is able to serve three main purposes, all the three main purposes, that is on the basis of the results of the examination we will able to select the students for higher education system. The second is the certifying function, and the third one is the use of examination results for accountability purposes. Now, concept of examination system. It is commonly believed that examinations are the true test of merit. Now, what is true test of merit in the context of school system? A list of students or people with higher grades in exam, means a list will be prepared that these are the students who have got higher grades in examination system. Only the deserving student pass the examination, and the second one is commonly that through examination only the deserving students can pass the exam. Other students will fail the exam, that they will not able to qualify that exam. All the results, all the rest fail, means those who are not deserving, they will fail in the examination. But the fact are not so, but the factual knowledge, the fact truth is different from what we have learned. Examination is not the true test of merit, means we cannot say that examination is only the basis of selecting a group of individuals with higher grades. It is often seen that those who do not deserve to pass, means sometimes it's often we see that some students who do not deserve to pass but they pass the exam, get through get through the exams, may they easily get passed through the exam, while those who deserve to pass, means those who we think that they will definitely pass the examination, get failed. The reason is that many students use unfair means and manage to pass the examination. Sometimes the students are uses some unfair means, and by using those unfair means they are able to easily qualify the exams. Exam is the basic element of the application and elaboration of examination system. The main objective was the maximum supervision of as large as possible number of parameters. Means the main objective of the exam is to supervise that the large number of parameters, that the cognitive parameters or the affective parameters or the psychomotor parameters, the main objective is to supervise all the parameters as much as possible. Exam is dynamically defined, that is, user can define its frames as complexity, duration, number of questions from individual questions pools, etc. The power of the system is additionally manifested in the fact that the choices of questions presented to the attendee may always be different. Means the number of questions presented to the attendee means those who are giving the exam are totally different, because according to the set keys it may be different. Because of the set keys, questions are pulled out of the question based randomly or sequentially. Means we are just pulled out the questions either randomly or in the sequential manner. It is of course possible not to take the opportunity of pulling out the questions at random. Means it is not there that we pull out the questions randomly, that these questions should not be in the examination system or these questions should be included in the examination. When it is necessary, like IQ test, a testing of knowledge or ability in one standard is known as examination. Means the testing or the ability, the proficiency of an individual is can be through the examination. Examination have to most of us a cause of trouble. Most of think that it is a very troubling thing to give the exam. That is what every students think, that they see only unnecessary hurdles to hold up a student rapid progress. They serve meaningless to hold up a student rapid progress. They serve meaningless purpose because they seem to be abolished or some other practical substitute must be found. What they say, they are students are not in the favor of giving the examination. They are always thought that examination is a cause of trouble. They serve meaningless to hold up a student rapid progress, means they are, the examination system is meaningful in giving a student rapid progress, how they are progressing. They serve meaningless purpose. They have they say that the examination system is serving a meaningless purpose because they seem to be abolished, and they think that the examination system to be abolished or some other practical substitute must be found, or the other thing which can substitute an examination system can be found. Broadly speaking, the examination are for the evaluation of the progress. Means through the examination we can evaluate the progress of an individual, progress of the student, and it is imperatively needed to measure the progress of any education system. And it is not only the progress of the student, but it is imperatively needed to measure the progress of education system, how the progress of education system is going on. The level of knowledge of the learner is evaluated through these examination. Means how much that learner has learned, how much he had gained the knowledge, is evaluated through these examination. We will evaluate the knowledge of the learner through the examination system, and the learner must show that they have intended learn adequately, and the performance of the learners shows that how they have indeed learned that concept, what they are supposed to learn, how much they have learned, and what they have supposed to learn. Thus the examination has assume very significance in the any academic curriculum. So we are saying that the examinations have assumed a very important aspect in any academic curriculum, both for students as well as for the teachers. And the examinations are not only necessary for the student but also for the teachers also. They are means of assessing not only the academic standards, how much you have attained, what grades you have got attained by student, but also of evaluating the quality of teaching. Means by the examination system, we are not only evaluating or measuring or assessing the performances of the student, but also we are evaluating the quality of teaching imparted to them. Means how the instruction has been given by the teacher, to the learners at the time of teaching learning process. Instructions are and assessment are two stages in the same process. Means how the quality of instructions, the quality of instruction will decide the progress of the learners, how they will achieve. Instruction and assessment are two stages in the same process, and in any review, they have to be assigned equal importance. Means equal importance should be given to the instructions and the assessment also. Examination reforms cannot but be a part of any scheme of educational reforms as a whole. Means examination reform, the changes in the examination system. Means first, you can say first we are taking just the annual exam, then but after we have moved to the formative assessment technique, then CCE has come. Now this is what the examination reform means. Examination reforms cannot be part of any scheme of educational reforms as a whole. The main reason why many people tend assign more importance to examination than may be legitimately due to them is the craze for degrees. Means we are able to get the degree after the completion of the examination. But the over valuation of the degree in the employment market for job requiring no specialized knowledge. Now what they are saying, that when you go for the go in the employment markets, you only needs a degree. No, you are not requiring any specialized knowledge what you have attained through that degree. No specialized knowledge has without done incalculable harm to our education system. Means we are focusing only on the degrees, and that is harmful in our education system as well as a whole. Not only the education system but our society in large, and turned examination into a fairness. It has confused our sense of priorities and created in many of us a tendency to look upon them as the central issue of education. And what is that had become? The examination is become as the central issue of education. The quality of education cannot be improved till the teacher taught ratio is reduced to manageable proportions. Now, what they are saying, in a class, there is a single teacher and 80 to 90 students are teaching in that particular class. Means if we want to improve the quality of education, the teacher uh, pupil ratio should be reduced. Another factor that has played an important role undermining the quality, the instruction in our school and colleges. Now, what is that? The first thing is the student-teacher ratio, and the second thing, which is played an important role at the quality of education, that is undermining the quality, the instruction in our school and colleges, the instruction which are given by the teacher to the students. Colleges is the increasing commercialization of education. As everywhere else in this sphere, also professional pride has yielded place to the profit motive. Now, what has given yielded a pride that a profit should be there in every activity. Today, if someone refers to teachers as nation builders, a large majority of them would take it as a joke. We are saying that the teachers are the national builders because they are educating the citizens of the country. But many of the people will think no, the teachers are not the nation builders anymore. They know it is very well that in a society in which it is mainly a personal material worth that counts, the teacher is placed fairly down in the social circle. Now we are not, we are saying that the teachers are not giving so much importance or so much reputation in a society. Yet another disease that had overtaken our education institution and that great harm on the instructional side is the fact that academic life in a country has also been politicalized or to disposable extent. Now, what is that? We are saying that our institution has been politicalized. Means politics has played important role, start placing an important role in this education system, and because of that our education system has been overtaken. Today, politics on the campus is not confused to jokery for positions carrying prestige and influences. Now, every student is involved in the politics of the campus. It is also pre-collated down to levels where it has been a determinant of student-teacher relationship and also very often a deciding factor in inter-staff and student teacher rivalries. Means the politicalized of the campus resulted in become an important factor how our interrelationship between us different staff members will be there, and how a relationship will be established between different students. The students become the rivalries of each other. Such political alignments are reflected not only in frequent resort to agitations by students but also very often influence the conduct of examination in the form of license, mass coping, assaults on an invigilators or other malpractices. Now, what is that? That these type of circumstances is not only influencing our education system but is also influencing the examination system of our country and the way examinations has been conducted. Now, what has that this lead to miscopying, assaults of invigilators, and other malpractices by the students or the learners. Coming to manner in which examinations are conducted in India, one cannot help feeling that the system is tyrannical in some respects. One long ordeal at the end of a year means one at the end of the year we took a end semester exam gone through under severe psychological strains. At the time of examination, the students go under a severe psychological strain. Could hardly ever be a fair test of the knowledge and proficiency a candidate has acquired over a period of time. Now, what they are trying to say that at the time of the examination, the student come under a severe psychological strain. They become stressful, and this examination is system of taking exams at the end is not a fair test of knowledge how much a student has learned and proficiency and abilities which have they acquired. Moreover, the wide time lag between the final test induces a majority of our student a tendency to take it easily. Now, what they're saying, a wide time lag means you have taken your admission in 2019 and you will give the examination at 220. Now, what is that? A timeline between 2019 to 2020. Now, what will happen? A majority of students start taking examination as a light affair and take it easy in the beginning, and to try to catch up on studies during the last 2 or 3 months only. They will take it easy that right now or 8 to 9 months are left, and they will uh, take stress of studies when only 2 or 3 months are left. Thus, before even they have joined the active workforce in the country, most of our young people lose the capacity for sustained efforts that become a lifelong habit which pulls down them in their careers. And this type of activity which they have formed in their characters not only help in them to sustain their capacities, but it also affect their lifelong habits which pull them down their careers. Means they are not focused to learn each and everything or at a particular time. They are in the habit of easing something. Another serious defect from which the present system of examination of India suffers is the practice of assessing the examinee's performance in terms of precise marking. Now, what is the second thing? The second thing is how the examiners are evaluating the answer copies of the learners, which betrays a rather simplistic approach. They are taking it as a simplistic approach. The tendency to evaluate everything in arithmetical terms means there is a increase in the tendency of an invigilator to evaluate each and everything on the terms of arithmetical terms. Terms means on the basis of marks. Expect in the case of exact science like mathematics, this is certainly no way of grading scholarly performance. Means it should be arithmetically terms examination should be for exactly for the sciences or for the maths, but for the different other subjects, this should not be the basis. No of way of grading scholarly performance. This is not the basis of grading how much you have learned. This method is highly arbitrary and invidious. With the way of numbers increasing every day, there is every likelihood that the system will undergo further distortions with the passage of time. Means if these reforms will not be made in the examination system, we will say further distortion with the passage of time in the examination system. Now, various form of examination and assessment might be used. Now, what they are saying, various techniques or approaches can be used by the teacher for the examination system or for the assessing the performances of the student. Now, some examples are written exam, mean the teacher can take your written exam for assessing your performance. Including these written exams can include short answers. The teacher can ask you to write short answers, or essay questions. You are asked to write answers in detail. Short answer questions are usually easy to judge, means it is easy to judge MCQs or short answer type questions, and grade them and even check them, but mainly test how students recall specific test facts. In subjects involving quantitative manipulation, it is suggested to include numerical tasks for the students to elaborate one, as well as some questions on explaining the meaning of concept and the results in one. Now, what they are saying that when we are making a test, it is not only that we should focus on the short question, but we will also should include some questions which are essay types and which ask the students to explain the concept or meaning and the results in their own words. It is also recommended to include essay questions in written examination. It means we cannot give only short answers or MCQs to the student. We should also include in our examination essay type question. Those will give a better assessment of how students have understood a subject and their ability to apply their knowledge. Now, why they are saying that the written essay type questions should be included in the written examination? Because these essay type questions are a basis of give a better assessment of how student understood a subject. Means we are able to assess or evaluate how a student have understood a subject through the means of long questions or essay type questions, and their ability to apply their knowledge. And the second thing, how they are applying their knowledge, how do analysis, how they are making the analysis, comparison between two things, evaluation and synthesis. The grading of the essay questions could also include how student outline express their answers in writing. Means a grading system should also be there when we are framing essay type questions. Means the questions should be able to tell students that on these bases, on these outlines, you will be evaluated, you will be assessed. In order to make students learn from the assessment, one option can be given them 10 exam questions, for example, and ask them to answer 7 of those during the examination. Now, what they are saying that when the teacher is framing a question paper, we can ask the teacher to frame 10 questions, and it is given an option to the students to give answers only of 7 questions out of the 10 questions. Or those during the examination, different students can make different choices. Yes, some students will uh, take different choices, some students take different choices in the examination. Each student is also asked to deliver answer to the 3 questions omitted, but then are take home exam. Now, what is that? Each student is also asked to deliver answer to the 3 questions omitted. Means 10 questions are there, they will give answers to the 7 questions, and 3 questions they have left or omitted, they were asked them to take as a home exam, means they will go at the home and try to find out the answers of those three questions. Now, the next one is open book exam. Now, what do you mean by open books exam? The open books exams allow the learners or the students to take notes, text, or resource material into the examination situations. Means you are free. You were allowed by the system to take your materials, to take your textbooks in the prescribed situations. Now, in an open book exam, students are allowed to use their textbooks, means you are free to take use their textbooks while giving the exams, and possibly also other material, also other material, means also other resource materials that you can use, that you want to use at the time of giving the examination. During the examination center session commonly used in biometry, this examination form can be helpful to test students' understanding, how much they have understand a concept, and ability to apply knowledge, how they will apply that particular knowledge to their lifelong learning, lifelong situations, as well as to select relevant information. So much of information is available related to a topic in the textbooks or the resource material, and they will the students will able to develop a concept, or able to develop to select the relevant information from the all the irrelevant information or the irrelevant material that has been with them. A limitation might be lack of relevant textbook. It might be that we are conducted open book exam for the students, but the student do not have the relevant textbook for giving the exams, or that students cannot afford to buy the books. Or the second thing is that that books are available, but the students cannot able to afford to buy those books. Now the next is multiple choice test. In multiple choice test, the students select the answer from several alternative answers. Means a question will be there and several alternative answers will be there, and the student has to select the correct answer from the given options. Usually 4-5 for each question. These type of tests mainly focuses on detailed knowledge. Means when these questions are framed in the test paper, these questions are framed in such a manner that is mainly focused on detailed knowledge, how much the student or learner has attained the knowledge, gained the knowledge, and are not very effective in measuring and stimulated learning for understanding, analysis, synthesis, and application of knowledge. The tests are easy to judge. We can easily judge how much the student has performed and grade them, now giving grades them. But to construct good multiple choice question with realistic alternative is difficult and time consuming. Now what they are saying, it is easy to judge, it is easy to check a multiple choice question, but it is difficult to construct a multiple choice question for a teacher. Why it is difficult? Because the teacher has to select a realistic alternative, is difficult for them to select, and it is very time consuming. Multiple choice test might be found useful or examination in very large group of students. Means it will be useful when a large number of students are giving that particular exam, or as a guiding quiz in continuous assessment. This they should be combined, however, with other examination methods. Means multiple choice question test should be combined with other examination method. Multiple choice test could be used early in a course if, for example, the students are asked to read some simple text to get an overview of the subject area before going into the individual parts. Knowing that there will be a great test might motivate them to read, and the teacher can quickly check the answers. These can be done, multiple choice questions can be used by the teacher in the early course of the delivering of the content. Now, computer-based assessment. Now, what do you mean by computer-based assessment? Means exams which are conducted on the computers is called computer-based assessment. Means we are taking the use of computers for the evaluation, for the assessment of the learners. Computer tests can be based on multiple choice questions. Means when we are uh, trying to assess the student performance through the use of computer, we can frame on multiple choice questions, but might also involve more interactive events where students are presented a case or a problem to elaborate on at the screens. It's just not only that multiple choice questions can be framed, but it might be also involve that more interactive events can be created by the teacher, where students are presented a case or problem to elaborate on at the screen what they have seen, what their viewpoints, how they will react, and these type of questions or these type of situations will develop their thinking process. An advantage of computer tests is that student get an immediate feedback on their answers. Means as the student will give the answer, the student will get the feedback whether their answer is correct or not. The test can also be used for continuous self-assessment. These computer-based assessment can also be used for continuous self-assessment. The student can assess his or her performance by using the computer-based assessment. Lack of computer insufficient number might limit the use of this examination method. Means the limitation of using computer-based assessment in our country is that there are not sufficient number of computers or laptops uh, in our schools or in our colleges, and that is the limitation of this examination method. Now, take home exam. This is a new concept in contrast to the traditional method. Now, in the traditional method, you come to a selective place, there is an invigilator, and you have to give your exam in front of that invigilator. But when we are talking about the take home exam, in contrast to an person or invigilated exam is written outside of a supervision exam room. Means you have given the choice of writing the answers or the solve the question papers outside, where there outside the room where there will be a no supervisor. In a take home exam, the tasks or questions can be distributed to student. Means questions will be distributed to the student. In the morning, you will give some questions to the students in the morning, and at the end of the following day, means in the end, they have to submit their answers to the questions which you have given them, and at the end of the following day, they deliver a written short report to be judged and commented upon by the teacher. Now, what they will give their answers, what they have written. Take home exam can be a good way to test student understanding. Means these tests can be used in the examination system because it is a good way of assessing how the students performance and ability to apply knowledge, and how they will be able to apply the knowledge from in the uh, their life, and to select and synthesize relevant information. And so much information available to the students regarding the question, but they have to select that this is the relevant information for that particular question. The method might uh, best fit MSc students. Report delivery can be compared to check that they have been produced individually. Means these can be test or exams can be useful for those students, and at the end they will deliver your a short report to you, and on the basis of that you will assess the performances of the students. Now, next is oral examination. Oral examination is useful to test students knowledge. Means with the help of oral examination also we will able to assess how the student what is the students knowledge, and understanding how much they have understand the topic, as well as their ability for application, how they will apply that knowledge, analysis, integration, and synthesis. The direct feedback in oral examination provides opportunities for students to learn from the examination and for the teacher to realize what problems students are facing in grasping the topic. Now, what is that? The oral examination will not only give feedback to the students, but it also give a feedback to the teachers also. The teacher will give the feedback in the way that the teacher will able to know what problems students are facing in learning and grasping that particular topic. It is also a good training for students to express themselves orally. Now, if the teacher are taking the oral examination, it will develop in the learners that they will start expressing them orally. Without extended time, they will not take extra time to express themselves. Without extended time to think about the answer, how to express them, what to say. Such situations will occur in their professional careers. Means if we able to develop these type of habits in the students from the uh, early situation, then it will be beneficial for them, because these type of situations they will also face at the time of their professional careers. Oral examination can be done in groups, means a small groups can be formed and still grade each students individually, means, but the grading system will be done on the basis of the students individual performance. Performing an oral examination in group of 3 to 4 students during 1 to 1.5 can have several advantages. It is a less time consuming than examining all students one by one, means your time will be saved as a teacher, and the discussion within group can be fruitful, and the discussion which is going in the group will be very beneficial for the student to understand that concept in a better manner. It might be wise to have two teachers per group of students in these examination, means there should be two teachers should be employed for taking oral examination, especially if many groups are examined in a day, especially when we are taking exams of many students. A comprehensive questions means a question to know the knowledge of the students problem or case might be used as a starting point. When examination is done in group, means when the examination is done in a take when we take an examination in the group, 2 3 or 3 to 4 students are there, it can be recommended that teacher do not direct their questions to a specific student. It is recommended, means you do not uh, ask a particular student a particular question. Directing the question will hamper the discussion. What will happen? It will not motivate and increase the discussion among the group members and increase anxiety, and it will increase the anxiety among the group members, group member of that particular individual, whether I will able to give the answer or not. It is better to tell the student that they must all take an active part in answering, means when we are taking a oral examination, we should encourage each and every student to take active part in the oral examination and actively involved in giving the answer and discussing to pass the examination. Questions should be directed only if a student is too quiet, means if you are thinking that that particular student is not taking part in the discussion, then only you should direct a question to that specific child. An experienced teacher can quite easily grade the students into the categories fail and pass, means an experienced teacher will easily able to find out that these students are actively participate uh, in the group discussion and these students are not taking part, and on the basis of their responses they will easily able to categorize student into fail and pass categories, and usually also pass with distinction those who have attained higher grade. It might be difficult to do a very detailed grading. Now, report writing and oral or poster presentation of tasks performed, means the teacher can ask the student to prepare a report or present that report, or a poster presentation that he can make a poster and present in front of the teacher. And on that basis also a teacher can assess the performances of the learners, how much they have attended. Parts or All of the assessment of students in a course might consist of reporting of projects. They will report on the a report will be prepared by the students on a project, practicals which they will conducted in the field or in the lab, literature students or problem care detailed with during the course, examining students on their ability to perform, how they are performing on that particular topic, apply knowledge to unfamiliar situations, how they will apply the knowledge which they get from the topic to unfamiliar situations, as well as to write and present the outcomes is important. It will also test their capacity for application, how they will be able to apply their knowledge, analyze, synthesis, etc. Projects are often performed as group work, means a project can be given to the students in a group. They test students' ability to cooperate. If the students will give the projects to the student, they will test able to test how they will work in a cooperative or collaborative manner. But some testing also of each student individually might be needed. But sometimes it is might be possible that on the basis of the test results, the teacher will not only assess the performance of the students in a group, but also he might be needed to judge or to assess the performance individually, how our individual has performed in that particular task. Now, in this particular topic, we have understood the concept of examination and the concept of examination system and the various formats of examination system, the open-ended examination, multiple choice, the oral examination. For further readings on today's topic, you can refer these references. Now let us discuss some MCQs based on the topic we have discussed today. As MCQs are the best tools to measure the most important educational outcomes of the students. Now, the first one, dash is the basic element of the application and at elaboration of examination system. Options are A, exam, B, test, C, assessment, or D, evaluation. So the correct answer is exam is the best element of the application. Second, dash is dynamically defined, that is user can define its frames as complexity, duration, number of questions from individual questions pool, etc. Now the options are A, exam, B, test, C, assessment, or the D, evaluation. So the correct answer is A, exam. Examination in secondary schools serve dash main purposes: A, 3, B, 4, C, 5, or D, 1. So the correct answer is A. Examination in secondary schools serve three main purposes. Fourth one, the dash are for the evaluation of the progress of the student, and it is imperatively needed to measure the progress of any education system. A, examination, B, test, C, assessment, or the D, evaluation. So the correct answer is examination. The examinations are for the evaluation of the progress of the students. A testing of dash or ability in one standard is known as examination. A testing of what? A, knowledge, or B, learning, C, objectives, or D, specific. So a testing of knowledge or ability in one standard is known as examination. Sixth one, dash is useful to test the student knowledge and understanding of a topic as well as their ability for application, analysis, integration, and synthesis. Now the first one is oral examination, B is written examination, C is report, or D is the computer-based examination. So correct answer is the oral examination. In and dash exam, students are allowed to use their textbook and possibly also other material during the examination system. A, open book, B, written examination, C, report, D, computer-based examination. So the correct answer is open book. Eighth one, in dash, the students select the answer from several alternative answers, usually 4, 5 for each question. The options are A, multiple choice, B. Written examination, C. Report, or D. Computer based examination. So the correct answer is A. Multiple choice test. Ninth one dash form can be helpful to test student understanding and ability to apply knowledge as well as to select relevant information. The first one is open book exam, C, B written examination, C is report, and D is computer based examination. So the correct answer is open book exam. 10th, in a dash, the task or question can be distributed to students in the morning and at the end of the following day, they deliver a written short report to be judged and commented upon by the teacher. Options are A. Open book exam, B. Written examination, C. Report, or the D. Take home exam. So the correct answer is D. Take home exam. Now, thank you, students. With this particular narration, you will able to understand what is the concept of examination, what are the various formats of examination, and the concept of examination. In another class, we will learn more about the examination system that is implemented in our country. Thank you so much.